Mr. President, today I introduced, along with Senator Murkowski and 22 other senators, the County Payments Reauthorization Act of 2011. The bill would provide dependable funding to support public schools, transportation infrastructure, and other critical county programs in more than 1,900 counties in 49 states. Specifically, for 5 more years the Payment in Lieu of Taxes program, and it would reauthorize the Secure Rural Schools and Community Self-Determination Act, both of which expired at the end of September. Let me correct that. I believe only the Secure Rural Schools Act expired at the end of September. Economists have long said that funding for local governments not only provides one of the most efficient and immediate ways to create and save jobs, it also helps to ensure that the essential community services on which economic growth depends are maintained. These programs have proven that point in recent years. They have been lifelines for financially strapped rural counties and the thousands of Americans that they employ and that they contract with. They have employed a multitude of public school teachers, supported countless miles of county road projects, funded thousands of collaborative forest and watershed restoration projects, and paid for hundreds of community wildfire risk reduction programs in all parts of the country. I'd like to give one example from my home state of New Mexico. Many of you may know that the Wallow fire this summer grew to become the largest fire in the history of Arizona. You may not know that its leading edge burned more than 15,000 acres into New Mexico, and it threatened the community of Luna in Catron County, New Mexico. When I visited the town of Luna, the community's firefighters told me that the wildfire risk reduction projects they had completed using funds from the Secure Rural Schools program helped to save their town. And the funds from this bill will fund many projects to help their local forest and watersheds and many others around New Mexico to recover from the severe fires that burned there this summer. Despite the important work that these programs support, we recognize that funding these programs is not easy, given the financial circumstance we find ourselves in. We've worked for months to build this strong coalition in the Senate and among the stakeholders in support of these programs across the country. In the process, there have been an array of differing views about the details of how these programs should be structured going forward. For example, some recognize the difficult financial situation in communities around the country and the urgent need to create jobs would significantly increase funding for these programs. Others, recognizing the challenging fiscal situation that the federal government faces, would sharply reduce funding for these programs. Some would shift the emphasis of the Secure Rural Schools program to forestry projects, such as those covered by Titles 2 and 3 of that program. And others would shift the emphasis to public schools and to road projects. Most importantly, there has been broad agreement on the most critical issues. First, there's broad agreement that funding for these 2 programs is immensely important. Second, there's broad agreement that the only way for us to successfully continue that funding is for us to continue the successful compromise that we negotiated in 2008. Congress overwhelmingly passed that compromise that has provided funding for these programs for the last 4 years, and our communities have broadly supported it. The alternative that seems to have become routine here in Congress is to emphasize our differences and destroy the coalition of support that will be essential to continued funding of these programs. So I greatly appreciate the support and leadership of Senator Murkowski and many others. Let me just mention all of those who have helped with this and who are co-sponsoring this effort. Senator Baucus, Senator Crapo, Senator Wyden, Senator Risch, Senator Reed of Nevada, Senator Cochran, Senator Tester, Senator Blunt, Senator Feinstein, Senator Heller, Senator Tom Udall, Senator Boxer, Senator Cantwell, Senator Murray, Senator Berkeley, Senator Sanders, Senator Johnson, Senator Begich, Senator McCaskill, and Senator Mark Udall, and Senator Al Franken, all of whom are co-sponsoring this important legislation. I hope the rest of the Senate will join us once again to support the continuation of these important programs and enact this legislation. Mr. President, I yield the floor.